So, unless you guys have been living under a rock, so far in the hero community, D-Force seems like it might be the way, or is it all just hype? What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Trinity Wolf, and well, thank you for coming back to another amazing Yu-Gi-Oh video. If you guys are new to the channel, please destroy that subscribe button. I want to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and only you can make that possible. I really appreciate all your guys' love and support, but today we are going to be talking about, is D-Force the way to go about this format? So we made pretty much a pros and cons list of D-Force, but of course, let's start off with the pros. Makes our board untargetable. That is a very, very good thing for a lot of decks right now that really can't out. You don't have to worry about Book of Moon, any kind of target destruction effects, imperm, just any kind of targeting ability. So the main thing has been pretty much Unchained. And most of their cards have to target to destroy, target to link. I have not been able to actually see it in action. So once I play them or even see how the deck completely works in full power, I will maybe update this and maybe show you my experience against what can I do against this deck or my strategies on defeating the deck, because I know that's the main thing everybody's talking about right now. I think Unchained is probably just going to replace Cashtira, just being how crazy it is. But anyway, back to the pros of D-Force. Protects Plasma. Being able to protect a floodgate is absolutely insane. So why do you think like other floodgates have been banned? Like think about Thunder Dragon Colossus. But the thing with D-Force is you need another card to protect it. Colossus could literally just protect itself. Like that was ridiculous. Just banish a Thunder monster, keep it safe. Plasma's nothing crazy like that. And also the 100 attack boost he gets from every monster. So the more they try to combo out and try to beat over this Plasma, he just gets stronger. Also, like I was saying, most people cannot play around a skill drain. If you think about it, like the matchups, like Unchained, most of their monsters' effects on the field can't activate, their elite monsters can't activate, and just anything, like anything that really just doesn't have the out, it's hard to play around skill drain. The fact that you can keep looping Plasma over and over again, not really like in a sense of like, oh, he's gone, I bring him right back. Well, it's kind of like, let's say you needed to pitch it with Ferris to start your combo off. You activate D-Force, you can just get it right back instead of just having to maybe waste your denier on trying to summon him back or getting him back into your grave. Just being able to use D-Force multiple times in order to just pretty much just keep getting Plasma is great. Also the fact that he can attack twice. Most of the time the game is over, so him being able to swing twice alone, we already know how a hero deck works. Big monsters, and him being able to attack twice is just crazy enough. Now let's start with some of the cons. We lose to a Kaiju. You make this whole big board with Plasma DPE, and then they just go hand you a turtle or lava golem. Also, he loses to, D-Force loses to pretty much non-target removal, such as evenly matched. We still don't have an Omni Negate Konami. Can you please help us out with that? Dark Ruler No More just turns off our board. Can't have no responses, can't do nothing. Unless you were deciding to play, you know, Protection of the Elements, it's really all you can do against something like evenly matched. Book of Eclipse is another one. I know a lot of people are playing Book of Moon with the targeting effect, but in my personal opinion, I like Book of Eclipse better because there's so many other matchups where you can just flip the whole board instead of just specifically just trying to target one monster on the field. You can just flip the whole board over. Maybe even yourself in case you were going to get Nibiru'd. I mean, everything's going to be face down, but at least you still have your board there and you have a wall to defend yourself. Just being able to flip over as many things. Sure, it loses to Ash Blossom, but to be honest, they would have used Ash Blossom during your combo or just whatever you start off playing with anyway. So, and of course, Joel and Lockbird, that's nothing surprising. Like, that would suck if you just had Ferris with no hero to pitch and you had to start off with D-Forcing to add Plasma and then you just get drolled right then and there. That would suck, But we already know Droll and Lockbird is pretty much our main enemy anyway, and people are still playing it, which really sucks. But D-Force is really just, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to be trying it out. Unfortunately, this week, I don't have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Day episode coming up for you guys. I was just pretty much just doing other things during the weekend, so I'll have one coming up with my updated deck profile to see how D-Force will be playing. What I'm thinking is, do we play 2 or 3? I think 2. Because, I mean, you do still want to see your engine. You don't really want to just say, like, hey, look at these 3 D-Force. Opening hand with an increase. Wow, what do I do with this? So, I think 2 is fine. I mean, if we had a way to search it better, I know I see some builds where some of you guys are trying to play the trap, where you send it and then search for it. That's just way too much. Now you're just doing it the most. But if it works for you, it works for you. That's fine. Continue to do it. If you top with it, that'll be awesome. You can just shut me up if you top with it. For not like a locals, but like a regional or something. But anyway, we're going to continue to pretty much like our matchups. D-Force against certain matchups. So obviously D-Force against rogue matchups, pretty insane. Being able to protect skill drain against those rogue matchups, they're not really going to have an out to it. I guess depending on what it is, that'd be the only thing. Unchained, we already talked about it. Very good. They can't target. That's pretty much just like their main thing. They can't target. Branded, any kind of branded variant, pretty much if they just don't have an out, that's just pretty much all I can think of. Because, I mean, they're going to need most of their monster effects, especially if they're using like the Chimera stuff. None of their guys on the field, sure they have their effects when they tribute, but I mean if you have a Dark Law as well, then they're just kind of just screwed right then and there. Pretty much if they don't have the out, that's pretty much what I gotta think. Because I know a lot of branded builds, they play Super Poly, like some of them that I see they do, so pretty much just that. Dragon Link absolutely destroys them. They need all their monster effects. They cannot play around a skill drain. Cash Tier, I mean, Cash Tier is pretty much dead, so do we really have to worry about talking about him? I mean, I know there's sure like that there's the field looping, but pretty much I think the only thing we have to worry about Cash Tier is just how splashable it is. Like, I mean, so many decks can just throw Cash Tier, but that gets me to, we'll get to that one in a second. Vanquish Soul, I think just absolutely blows them away. They can't target, and all their monsters are turned off. Don't think they can really out it. Pretty much if they don't have the out. This is just pretty much if they don't have the outs. They cannot out Plasma, pretty much. They cannot target, they can't do nothing. Any runic stuff, all they do is target. They target and destroy. I mean, sure, they can probably just keep banishing your stuff by just activating, the other effects. But the only really other effect is just the special one from their extra deck, or just a few other effects that they have, like draw 1, banish. That's really all they can do. I mean, they can't target any of your stuff, so at some point, that's just gonna, not really work out for them. Okay, so matchups that are just, I think, decent. Maybe not like blowing away, but just decent. Like I was talking about Cash Tier, pretty much Cash Tier is just getting thrown into Tier Limit. Tier Limit is slowly starting to come back. The only reason I say it's okay against Tier Limit, sure they can't target, but I mean their graveyard is mainly what they rely on. But that kind of helps us in a sense because they mill so much. That's why I say it's okay, because if they keep milling and milling and milling and they just keep sending a bunch of monsters, Plasma's just gonna get stronger. And then on top of maybe having a Dark Law, that's why it's just okay. It's just like if you have the D-Force and the Dark Law, I would say it just blows them away. But as long as they don't have the out like Super Poly, because some Tier Limit players play Super Poly, so that's another thing. Purely, I think it's okay. I mean, most of the time I don't think I've ever really summoned Plasma against Purely, so I don't really have a full thing onto how good Plasma is against Purely. But I think a non-targeting skill drain would be pretty good for them. I don't think they can use like their Book of Moon, because I'm sure they main Book of Moon. I'm pretty positive they do. Most of the time, me having Dark Law against them is kind of quite enough. But Rescue Ace, I would say I I know skill drain would be pretty great against, you know, turning off all their monsters. The only reason I say it's okay is because they're a back row deck, and, you know, they set a bunch of traps. I can't really name off the top of my head, I'm sorry, but what all the traps do. That's why I say it's okay, because if they just have their monsters and they just so happen to see all their back row, that would kind of suck. But skill drain turning off all their monsters is absolutely good. Any sprite variant, the only reason I say it's okay and not just game blowing is just because, I mean, if they open up the sprite smashers, it doesn't target, so that's kind of just a free out to the plasma, and that kind of sucks. Mandimium, I think that's what that deck's called. I think it's pretty good against them. It's just another deck that I'm seeing some people play Super Poly in as well. But turning off all their monsters, pretty good. But most of the time I put okay is because I'm slowly starting to see Super Poly coming back into play. So be aware that you guys try to be careful of like your dark monsters on the board. And bad matchups. I think the only bad matchup we'd probably have, I just say Labyrinth. I've never really had a time where I needed to summon Plasma against a Labyrinth player, because it's just a back row deck. I mean, that's just how it is. They just play a bunch of back row, a bunch of BS. So I don't think it really helps. I mean, they have the Jar Macabre cannon where they flip everything. That's pretty much my only thing with back row decks. I think this Plasma with, you know, unless they're like a targeting back row deck, like let's say Sky Striker for example. Yeah, D-Force with Plasma against Sky Striker, yeah, they get railed. Like, absolutely railed. On top of them, you turning off their Link monsters, their back row is literally turned off as well. So that is just a complete blowout. So, in your guys' opinion, let me know down in the comments. Is it hype or is it D-Time? So, shouts out to D-Time. I'm glad you're back, bro, making videos. So, shouts out to you if you so happen to watch this video. But anyway, guys, this is going to be your boy Trinity Wolf signing out, so make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new.